Good morning. On trail at the south terminus of the Art Loeb Trail, heading south to north on a beautiful, sunny, 75-degree spring day. A little bit of clouds right now, nothing too bad. Not covering the sun, as you can see over there. But behind me there's a little more, but they're big cumulus clouds. It doesn't look like rain clouds or anything. There is a chance of rain today, even more of a chance of rain tomorrow, and even more of a chance of rain the day after. So doing a 2 to 2.5 to possibly even 3 or 4. You just never know about fortune. 2, 2.5, 3 or 4 day. I should have finished that. Hike here. What I'm doing is the plan is to yo-yo the Art Loeb Trail. And what I mean by yo-yo, for those who don't know, is you start at one end, you go all the way to the other, then you turn around and come back. That's the plan. There's some variables in that. You know me, I like to do recon and I like to explore. There's definitely some exploring that's going to be going on here on the Art Loeb Trail. I'll tell you about it. So the Art Loeb Trail is about 30 miles, 32 miles, I believe, is the exact number. So if I just go up and back and do a yo-yo, that would be 64. I would love to get off and do some of the side trails in the Shining Rock Wilderness and summit some of those other mountains that's there that I have not summited before. I have been on the Art Loeb later last year and thru-hiked that, doing some recon after Hurricane Helene, and so I know the trail's in good shape on that aspect. However, Shining Rock Wilderness at this moment, well, as of yesterday, is closed. The reason being is because there's something called the Rattlesnake Area of Fire, also known as the Crusoe Fire, which is on private land, and they've been putting up the barricades to stop it from spreading into the town of Crusoe. But it is shut down the Shining Rock Wilderness, basically between the roads of 276 and 215, north of the Blue Ridge Parkway, which is pretty much the north end of the Art Loeb Trail and Shining Rock Wilderness. So knowing me and who I am and what I like to do, very cautious, don't worry. I'm very cautious and very smart about things most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. So I'm not going to put myself in harm's way, but I am going to explore, because up to the Blue Ridge Parkway here is about 18 miles. So I'm at the very minimum going to go up 18 miles and come back. That would be the 2-day. But I do want to explore when I get there and see if I can go beyond that Blue Ridge Parkway on the Art Loeb, which is then, as soon as you cross that, you're going up Silvermine Mountain, and then you descend a little bit before going up Black Balsam and Tennant Mountains, which are 6,000 footers. I would love to be able to get that far, because those are not quite in Shining Rock Wilderness yet. And it's unclear to me, to be honest, if it's just Shining Rock Wilderness is closed, or if it's part of the Pisgah National Forest, or that even might be part of the Blue Ridge Parkway area, since it's right off the Blue Ridge Parkway. So I'm not sure if that part is closed, or if it's just the Shining Rock Wilderness area, which is past Black Balsam and Tennant. I'm going to find out. Sounds like a lot of fun of exploring, but I would love to be able to go through that area. But I digress. I don't know what to expect. I know I'm going at least 18 miles. I know I'm camping tonight. I know I'm hiking tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going up and back to the Blue Ridge Parkway, if I'm going to get to go a little bit past that and camp somewhere up there, or maybe that'll be a second night and be able to stay and come back on the third day, which there's a very big chance of rain on the third day, a decent chance of rain tomorrow, and a slight chance of rain today, and a little bit more this evening. So it's going to be an adventure, and glad to have y'all along with me on this one. But right now, I'm going to soak in these sun rays and start climbing me some mountains. Plenty of summit opportunities today, for sure. So without further ado, let's do it. Let's get up those mountains and put them in the bag. Woo, it is warm. Feeling a little breeze right now. It's like the first time since I've been inside the forest here in these mountain laurel and rhododendron thickets. What do you want to call it? Forest type. Because they block the wind a lot. And it's probably at least 80 degrees by now. The higher I get, it should get a little cooler, so that's good. It is warm. The older I get, the less I like hot hiking. Warm I could deal with, 75, 80. When it gets up to 90, and it is really humid right now, which is good for those fires. With the chances of rain and in the air and then the humidity, that helps fires not spread and be able to get them more handled, so to speak. So that's good. I'm really excited to see what I see here. I've been in and around a lot of forest fires. The last one I was really close was in Yosemite on my PCT journey, and that was just smoke everywhere and orange skies. It was never in Yosemite, it was on the outside of Yosemite, so it never threatened to come on the trail, so they didn't close the trail down. But you talk about hard breathing, and that always freaks you out a little bit. It's all on video if you want to go back and check that out on my PCT journey. But this will be the first really good push. I mean, I had a good push yesterday, 15 miles in like 4.5 hours. That was a good push, and that was kind of a recon thing too. Ironically, I was going to the Blue Ridge Parkway on that one too, on a really trail that's rarely used by people. I ran into one person the whole time out there in 15 miles, and that is an area where a lot of people go. They just don't go on that trail. So I wanted to see, because it's closed at the Blue Ridge Parkways. That's where the Black Mountains start in Mount Mitchell, and that's all closed most likely for the rest of this year. So I wanted to see what it looked like when I got up to Blue Ridge Parkway. Unfortunately, I started so late that I got to 15 miles in 4.5 hours, but I had to get back because of some prior obligations. So I missed it by 3 miles to the Blue Ridge, basically right where the pinnacle is. That's how far I got. Beautiful area. I'm definitely going to go back and do that. But this is the first big one I've done since the foot infection. And I mean, I've been climbing and hiking a lot, just nothing really pushing myself like this. So the heat will help that I'm pushing myself in the heat, because this is how I train. I'm always conditioned. I'm always ready for a through hike, but when I really want to get even more ready, I push myself hard to the limit, and heat helps me do that for sure. But this is the first one since my foot infection and all the medical stuff I've had going on and all the medical tests. So getting myself prepared for the upcoming through hikes that I'm going to be doing for the rest of this year. I will have a video updating all that, because some things have changed just because of trail closures and such. So there's plan A and plan B, because out west, you never know when that stuff gets shut down with wildfires too. So I'm just going to play it by ear, but I'll be announcing that here soon. But for now, I'm really excited about getting up here, which is where I started this whole little clip. Getting up here to seeing what the fire looks like, see if it's out by the time I get there. If they've got it under control, where they've opened up the wilderness, or if the wilderness is closed, or if I can see it at all. I did smell it a little bit when I first started. I don't smell it now, so it must have just been some wind carrying it through, because it is, 25 miles or so from where I am right now. So we'll see, but looking forward to it. I love exploring. I love seeing what's new out there. And unfortunately, when forest gets damaged with fire, it's sad, but at the same time, it's still beautiful. All forest is beautiful, and that's just sometimes a part of nature when, helps get rid of all that fuel. And unfortunately, there's a lot of fuel in this area right now from Hurricane Helene, and the damage it did. So it's bound to happen in several places this year because of that. It's sad that happens, but hopefully no more lives are lost than already has been. This area has seen enough problems, but it's kind of inevitable, unfortunately. Just a real dangerous situation right now with all the fuel. But anyway, I'm going to quit rambling and get back to hiking, which I'm doing while I'm rambling. But I want you all to be able to see these beautiful views I'm seeing. Nice little camp spot here with some nice views in between the trees. Looks like a little bit of a ominous cloud over there. Storm cloud. This is where it came from. And pretty much is going up the whole time. Looks like it goes down a little bit before popping up again over there to where those hills are. I don't think I should stop yet and can't set up camp though. I'm only about 3.5 miles into it. Yeah, I'm not gonna stop. That was a joke. But I am really freaking hot. Look at that sweat. Running out my nose like snot. It is hot today, my friends. Very humid too. I can't wait to get up to 5,000 feet where it's a little cooler, by 5 degrees maybe. Oh, it is warm. And it's, I don't know, 1,400 feet of elevation so far in 3.5 miles. It's very gradual, but it's consistent. And now it's a lot of ups and downs until I get to Pilot, and then it's like kind of straight up. So several mountains before that, but Pilot, and then Sassafras, and then Blue Ridge Parkway. So then I'll see if I'm able to go any further than that. Probably not today. I did start a little later than I would normally start in the morning, so probably not a more than 20-mile day. So I can't see me going past the Blue Ridge Parkway today. That'd be a tomorrow thing if I did. I think. You never know. Right now it's hot. It's going to get hotter, except for being up high. And if the sun goes behind the clouds, obviously that makes it cooler. But I'm just babbling right now to stop myself from hiking. So I guess I should quit babbling and I should quit babbling. These are these kind of leaves. I love these things. In the middle of the night when you're hiking in the dark and the wind's blowing, these things make this really unique sound. Almost like crickets or something. But anyway, I'm going to head back to trail now. I think I've caught my breath enough. Should be coming up to Stony Mountain, I believe, or Stony Knob here pretty shortly. Standing on the summit of Stony Knob, the first summit of the day here on the Art Loeb Trail. A little side trail, not really a trail, more like a bushwhack for point one to get to the summit. Not too many views, but they'll open up here in a little bit the higher I get. But here it's still beautiful in the nice, lush, spring growing green forest. And Stony Knob is in the bag. Standing on the summit of Chestnut Knob. One of two chestnuts today. One is Chestnut Mountain, one is Chestnut Knob. This is all socked in. You can see the mountains on both sides through the trees. Smelling a little bit of smoke right now, but not too bad at all out here so far. Feeling that heat today, feeling that grind. Obviously coming over some medical issues, trying to overcome that mountain right now, and just a little weaker than what I normally am. A little more of a struggle, I should say, but still feeling really strong. And Chestnut Knob is in the bag. Definitely a lot of erosion here on the Art Loeb Trail in the beginning part. First 10 miles or so. Makes the steps a little bigger. Slows it down a little bit. I'm not in a hurry though, obviously. I'm not trying to do like 60 miles in 2 days or anything. Still warm, by the way. It hasn't changed. Every once in a while I feel a nice breeze. That always helps. Oh goodness. It's very squishy and spongy right there. Stopping for a little break, a little food. Only be about 5 or 10 minutes. Get some food, protein, peanut butter in me, maybe some snacks. Well, it's all snacks. What am I talking about? But right here's where I came from, up here. Our loop goes up that direction, and it splits with Cat Gap Loop, which is over there, and then the other part of Cat Gap Loop was down here and comes over this direction. All part of the Pisgah National Forest. I've actually been on the Cat Gap Loop before. I'm not going today. I'm doing the Art Loeb Trail. So, gonna eat some peanut butter crackers. Ooh, some Mexican street corn trail mix. If you've never tried it, it's at Target. It's the best trail mix I think ever. Oh, I have some sesame sticks too. Maybe. Okay, I'm just hungry. I'm gonna eat everything. But I'll be 5 or 10 minutes and head on. Art Loeb. that feeling of running into your first water source of the day when it's hot and you're sweaty and the sun's hitting you all day and you're running out of water and you know it's somewhat of a dry trail, and especially right now because it's been so dry lately, which is why all the wildfires, and you really don't know when that water's coming, and you find a pool that looks a little stagnant but you don't care. That's why you have a filter with you. The relief of nice cold water. Yeah, baby. This looks like it should be a water source too. But bone dry. Bone dry. So a couple little streams or little bits of pools of water been here in this last half mile. Is coming across right here where this rock is. I don't know if this is John Rock or what, but it's coming down from the side of this mountain. It's nice to have that cold water though. Here's a better view of that rock. John's Rock is around here. Looking Glass Rock is around here. I don't think this is Looking Glass. Probably John's Rock. You can see little tiny streams of water that's coming down and they're making little pools like this. Definitely helpful to have that because it's pretty dry. I don't know if I've told you that. It's pretty dry right now. But it's really cool walking next to this. I love that. Water is getting more prevalent in this area. I don't need any right now though. So I just sat on this rock for a minute. This is Chestnut Mountain that I'm climbing right now. I just had to make an executive decision because I have a really upset stomach right now. And so I just sit and think about where I am because it's probably a lot to do with the heat and starting late. And I mean, I have plenty of miles left in me today, but unfortunately, I passed a shelter about 2 miles back that has some water next to it. If I keep going, I have 5.5 miles to go to a shelter, and there might not be any water until then. And I'm thinking that's what's going on with my stomach, is the fact that a little dehydrated because of the heat and all the sweat. So, and that's been part of my medical issues the last couple months as well. Is whatever that where I overly get dehydrated very quickly with some issues I have going on. But anyway, I digress. So I had to think about it because if I go here, I have this mountain, then I have Rich Mountain, and then I have the Pilot Mountain, which is a very steep 1,500 foot climb, about 3,300 feet of elevation so far today. That would put me about 6,000. Easy to do, except for the fact my stomach's upset. And if it's because I'm starting to get dehydrated, I have enough water to get to that one, but not if I start getting sick. So I need to be really smart about this. So I think it's late because it's getting later. It's, you know, by the time I got down to that shelter, it'd be like 5:30. I would get to the other shelter probably 6:30 or 7. So I'm just telling you how I think. This is how my brain thinks of things like this. So I think I'm going to go back down to the shelter I just came or walked by and set up camp there next to that shelter tonight because there were some tent spots there as well. And then I'll continue on this way in the morning. But I'm not going to push it today because I got started about 10:30 or 11, somewhere around there. And, you know, I have quite a few miles in today. Not as many as I would like to have, not 18 or 20, but it'll be about 13 or 14, which isn't bad, starting 10:30 or 11. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back there, eat some dinner, drink some water, get myself hydrated, and get a good, nice night's sleep and early start in the morning up the rest of Chestnut Mountain. Well, actually up all of Chestnut Mountain because I'll be going back down. And then Rich Mountain, and then Pilot Mountain, and then see if I can cross the Blue Ridge Parkway or not. All right, gonna start going down. Whoop. Here's the little shelter, Butter Gap Shelter it's called. That's my backpack. Don't worry, somebody didn't leave it here. Nice little shelter. Somebody could have a fire here tonight, I suppose, if they wanted, because the fire ban has been lifted. I would prefer if somebody did not light a fire here tonight because it is still hot and dry. Not as dry humid-wise, but anyway, this is the shelter. It looks really nice. And there's that rock that I walked right next to for a long time. Just big rock slabs. I think it's John's Rock because where I just came back from, that was pretty sure Table Rock. Rock, not Table Rock. Oh man, sorry. Looking Glass Rock, not Table Rock. Looking Glass Rock, I believe. So you'll see that tomorrow when I head back up. I'll show you that. But beautiful views all around, mountains all around. I'll be setting up my tent either here in this spot, or if I go down, there's another spot there. Just gonna kind of hang out here and make sure nobody else is coming. Because if they do, then I'll definitely go down below because I don't want to be right next to a shelter if somebody else is staying here. But this will be home for the night and then getting up early, what Fortune normally does, and start climbing those mountains. So by noon, I will have the majority of them in the bag. All right, everybody have a good night and